that track.
You've been playing some good music this morning. Where am I
Ah,
getting
we used
music
to
from?
rinse that out back in the day. Oh, who didn't?
So, good morning to everybody on Mixcloud. Good morning, Dee Brown. Good morning to you. Huntsville Jamming, as Sharky mentioned earlier on. I've not seen this name before. Good
Mm.
morning. And Shabab, good morning to you. Also, and Martine, blessings to you. On
I'll
Sharky
let you into a
DJ's
little.
Mix.
I'll let you into a little secret. Shabab is Jackie's sister.
Good morning,
Mm.
darling. And Verona's in, Linda 7904. I saw Sway Irie in earlier on, Spice Nice. Our usual loyal mix clouder is on as well as Verona. Laurie, Jack's happy, Rally's men. Some different people on this morning, so welcome to the Breakfast Flight Show with Sharky DJ and HPQ. We've been entertained by Sharky DJ for the first nearly hour and a half. You've been playing some great music. I often be listening in the background whilst I'm getting myself ready to come onto the show, and I'm always dancing around. You do play some good tunes.
Oh, standard.
Why are you so small on the screen anyway? You've made me part of the big screen. Where are you? Where
Here I
are
am.
you? Ah, there you go. There you go. So, we had a great breakfast show yesterday with the return of Sharky DJ, and we're back today on Tuesday. And what in the world have we got for news for you guys this morning? Well, yesterday I kind of spoke about the general election, when the general election was, and some of the parties that were involved, gave you a brief summary of each party, and hopefully you guys are going to make your pick, make your choice for the country, and try and get out and vote. But in saying that, for those of you up north, as Sharky says, you make me laugh every time you say that. Up north, it's going to be hot or sunny or rainy.
Cold. It's cold by 5 degrees. London is going to be 21 today,
We are
and I
in the
think you're gonna
Midlands, the
get
West Midlands.
Midlands. Anything north of London is up north to us, and it's going to be 16 degrees max apparently up north. But we'll see.
Oh, well, we need some sunshine. They did say that the heat wave was going to kick in from Thursday, but someone put a wonderful post on Facebook the other day talking about the different seasons that we go through daily, and then
Mm.
it's a free for all at the weekend. Rain, wind, hail, snow, umbrellas, coat, jacket, scarf, and then I saw another person put on what he should wear for addressing the different seasons, and he just always had a jacket on, a jacket and a scarf, maybe
just
unbuttoned,
just take off the
maybe put to the
scarf,
side.
unbutton it. Yeah,
Says a
it
lot.
seems like that. It seems like that. It's not a very good summer, is it?
Not really. But you know what? When I first moved to the West Midlands, I often, you watch Coronation Street. Obviously, Birmingham is nowhere near Coronation Street. But you kind of think that it was just going to rain all the time. And it's actually very, very nice up here. There's some days where it doesn't rain and it's raining in London. So,
Yeah.
it's all good. But the one thing that's happening up north, as Sharky should say, is Birmingham. Now, I reported on the fact that Birmingham's council tax had raised by 10%, one of the most highest in the UK. They are cutting services. They are 600 million in debt, especially with this gender cut that they got taken to court over, that they're going to have to reimburse the females for.
Oh wow.
And yeah, there's a lot going on with Birmingham. There's a lot going on. Now, they were once nicknamed the workshop of the world. Birmingham was an industrial powerhouse in the 18th and 19th century. It is the
Mm.
second largest city in the UK.
That's
Yet,
right.
yet, yet it can no longer afford to keep its own streetlights brightly lit. For Birmingham now is going to start dimming the lights from earlier in the evening to save money on costs.
Wow.
Now, in September last year, they issued this well known 114 notice, effectively declaring the council as bankrupt. And as I said, it was to claw back 600 million. They want to claw it back over the next 2 years. 600 million in 2 years is a very
Wow.
ambitious project. Now, the fact that they've had to do that, there's unprecedented cuts around the whole of Birmingham. One of them I just mentioned, which is dimming the street lights, and the other is collecting rubbish once a fortnight. Now, mine is entwined. One set of rubbish is collected, the bottles and the paper is collected one week, and then the food waste, along with everything else in there, goes the following week. Now, living in Croydon, I think we were spoilt because the food waste was collected in a separate bin. That was collected every week because in the
Yeah.
summertime, you imagine all that in the bin churning
Yeah.
away
It
with
must be.
flies and everything. It's awful.
Must be
So
horrible.
coming up here, I wasn't used to mixing my food waste in a normal bin, but got used to it now. And that's collected every week. But Birmingham is 2 weeks for everything. And that's a lot. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of fly tipping going on that the council has promised to try and invest money in. Where they're going to get it from, I do not know.
Well, they need to be putting cameras about the place, isn't it? So that they can see. But wherever the cameras are, they'll find somewhere else to dump the stuff.
Well, and I read a report about a gentleman blatantly because I think the Perry Bar that's in Birmingham
Yeah.
um, tip site was closed. So he just brazenly threw them over a neighbour's garden, just
Oh
throwing six
no.
bags of
Can you
rubbish. And they were
imagine? Can you imagine that?
Listen, those bags will be going back with him. They said he drove off. Believe you me, before he could get that second bag in my garden, right? It's going it back in his car over him, or something's happening to his car that it's not going anywhere. Police will have to be called. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare. But
Yeah.
coming back to Birmingham now, on top of the deepened cuts, it means that children's services have been cut, and so has adult care. And as we know, and I don't know what's going on with our kids, but there seems to be a rise in children having to be statemented, send children, right? Statement educational needs, it's called. Children that have special needs, autism, especially falls into that bracket, dyspraxia, dyslexia, and depending on the level that you're at, you'll be entitled to help. Maybe a teaching assistant in school, or help getting your child into a school, or help go into a special school. Now, of course, there's only a certain amount of places, and the councils fund these places. The council does not have money anymore. So a lot of these children that were being funded in special schools or being statemented or having teaching assistant will no longer have these. So it's a bit of a worry for our children right now. We're not talking about children that are just ordinary, maybe just have a little bit of dyslexia. We're talking about non-verbal autism and things like that, where they don't actually speak, where they do need specific and special help. Not everyone can afford it, and I really truly believe that something is happening with our foods for our children to have so much issues. We didn't have all this growing up. I'm not
No.
saying it wasn't there. We just didn't have so much educational needs as what we have at the moment. And we've got rampant child poverty. We've got children that cannot or are not eating before they get to school. And the level of their lunches is just not enough, or the parents can't afford the school lunch. So what do? It's a bit sad in this world. And I'm hoping whichever government comes in, they do something about this. More money is needed for kids, especially in the kids' services. Not the national service. That's not the way to look after our children.
Do
We
you
need
know?
to be teaching them a little
Mm.
bit more, but not national service.
No, no, national service is not the way. I think that's just an excuse to get them out. To get to get the kids to go out and do their war that they're planning. That's what I think.
Well, there has been a decline in the numbers that are joining the army. We know that there's the migrant policies that they've brought out, especially with shipping them off to Rwanda now. We've got less and less migrants coming in. There's a job shortage in the construction industry, the nursing industry, obviously the school industry with the amount of teachers leaving, and obviously within the NHS itself, and within the catering industries. So this lack of people is leading the government to think, how do we fill the gap? We've got a set of the UK population that don't want any more migrants coming in,
Mm.
but they're the people that want to do the jobs that some of us lazy English people don't want to do, or it doesn't pay enough.
Yeah.
So what happens? And we've often been talking about the fact that our children have nothing to do because they've stripped all those services away. So the government are thinking, wow, let's kill two birds with one stone. Let's get all the kids off the street, put them into national service for 2 years. Let's copy a model that's perhaps in Africa or Spain or something. Let's fill the gaps in the army. Let's get them working in the NHS for free.
Exactly. Do you know what I say? HPQ for office.
I don't know what policies I'd put in, but I'll try. You are too busy. That's what it is.
I
You are
know.
too busy. Too busy doing too much stuff. Traveling all around the world all the time. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Don't worry. I'll be dragging you with me next time.
Oh. Well, when you are traveling around the world, just as much as you are traveling in the UK, just, think about what you are eating. Now, well, I spoke just about the kids and the fact that the number of issues that they're having now seems to be increased from when we were young. And quite recently, I don't know if you've seen it in the news, there's an E. coli outbreak, which is linked to contaminated salad, i.e., the lettuce leaves in some of these sandwiches. And a large range of supermarkets are recalling back all of these sandwiches because more than 200 Brits have been struck down with a rare strain of this E. coli linked to these contaminated salad leaves. How they became contaminated is yet to be established, but there's a number of supermarkets that it affects, including Aldi, Amazon, Asda, Morrison's, Boots, Co-op, the Gym Kitchen, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, One Stop, and WH Smith. And these are a range of the vegan sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, BLT sandwiches, anything that contains lettuce. Please, everyone, keep away from them. In fact, just keep away from these processed sandwiches. These are highly processed foods which are not good for us, probably contain all sorts of additives. I nearly said sedatives, but you could never know. But lots of additives in there that are just not good for our body, that do us no good whatsoever. And I know it's easy. You're getting on a train, you want to have a sandwich on a train going where you're going, but try and spend some time and make your own food. I've got a fear for food right now. I really do, because I really don't know what's actually going in on it. Now, on top of that, I went with a friend. They had for her son's lunch at a Cosmos restaurant. You know, that buffet restaurant? Now, normally I don't go to those. I'm not a big fan of buffets. Really, I'm not. And we went. And all of a sudden, we've got this text message to say that anybody... And I actually went and I was sick afterwards. I just thought maybe I ate too much or it was too much of different food. And we realised that there was an outbreak of that stomach bug that's going around. So the health organisation has sent a text message to everybody that actually went to that restaurant to complete a survey in terms of what they ate, so that they can investigate this. Well, me and my big self already went and phoned the restaurant and said, there's this survey out, you've poisoned me, just give me back my money or I'm going back to my card holders. So I'm waiting for that.
You and the card holders.
Oh, listen, I don't mess about, and you know I don't mess about with that. You know, if I've paid for it on my card and it's not right, doesn't taste right, whatever, I'm going back for my money.
Yep.
Even on Father's Day, remember, I took Sharky out on Father's Day. I ordered, I'm a big foodie, I love French food. I ordered Chateaubriand, right? Which is steak, the most tenderest part of the steak, and it's supposed to be melt in your mouth. Well, what came was some tough steak. What came was some stuffed steak. In the end, I had to say, look, this is not Chateaubriand, you know? And we had to wait a whole hour or so.
It was more than an hour.
We saw reams of people coming in after us and us sitting there trying to wait for this food. But they looked after us. It was a nice restaurant.
She said it was bad. It was a bad batch or something like that, didn't she?
I don't know what it was. It weren't the right batch. That's all I know. It really wasn't. Yeah. It really wasn't.
Talking about food, I don't know if you heard earlier, I was talking about the Love Island star, Jack Fowler, who he was on his flight to Dubai, and they served him curry. And he said to them, he asked them if there was any nuts in it, and they said no, there was no nuts. And he asked them twice on the flight. They said, nope, there was no nuts. And he ate the curry, and what was in it? Cashew nuts, and his throat closed immediately. He nearly died on the plane. And I actually mentioned what happened to you when you had hazelnuts.
Yes.
And you broke out and your eyes swole up, and I think it's the second time I've seen that happen to you. Second or third time where you've eaten nuts, and you won't leave nuts. If I buy nuts, you won't leave them alone. You just eat them.
And I specifically hazelnuts, peanuts.
Slap you now.
Peanuts I'm fine with, and walnuts I'm fine with because I have them in my salad all the time. But hazelnuts, for some reason, do not agree with me. And I'm off all of them at the moment. I'm keeping it safe because the way how my eyes blew up. The first time I had it, my throat actually seized up. I couldn't swallow it and I vomited. I had heart palpitations. I was profusely sweating. And obviously all the other symptoms that come along with it. And they lasted a lot longer. This second one I had wasn't so severe. It was bad, but it wasn't as severe as the first time round. So
and you put your face on Facebook as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
You put it on Facebook to show what actually happened to you when you eat nuts.
Yeah. There's not much I
Mm.
don't put on Facebook, like when I went out and wore two different shoes, right?
Oh yeah, two different shoes. Who turns up with two different? Mind you, they were similar, but knowing you was in a rush.
Oh, but coming on to my next story, and if we're talking about disclosing, and I disclose a lot on Facebook. I think it's, not about my personal circle, not everything, but things that people might find interesting or that people go through themselves. But there's some things I just would not disclose. So this
Mm.
woman has gone onto a dating app. She's trying to find a man, and she decides that in her profile, she's going to disclose that she's got herpes.
Oh wow, who's gonna date her? I mean,
She said she used to get 10 swipes or 10 links a day. Now she gets less than two. Well, what do you. Hello?
imagine that you're going on a dating site and the lady says, "Yes, I've got." Do you know what? At least she's honest.
We'll give it to her for honesty, but it's still not going to get you a man if you put yourself out there. Yeah, I'm this beautiful woman, and I got herpes. Da, 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 da.
God. Oh gosh. Oh
No,
dear.
no, no. You don't disclose those things. You wait until you find your partner
Mm.
before, obviously, you go and have sexual intercourse. All right, you talk to your partner and you talk to them about. It's a bit like when AIDS was going around. Lots of
Mm.
people caught AIDS from blood transfusions, not through their sexual activity. So, there's that stigma against certain things. And STDs or sexually transmitted diseases and things like herpes can stay dormant in your system. You could be
Yeah.
asymptomatic, be a carrier and give it to somebody else and not even have the symptoms yourself. And some of these things are just are difficult to navigate through. All I can say is try and stay healthy. Make sure that you and your partner or soon to be partner are tested and regular, and people stop sleeping around outside your relationships and wrap up. That way we can stop this. You know?
Huntsville says, "Good luck to her."
You're not going to date a Huntsfield? Do you not want her profile? You know? Maybe if you wrapped up twice, it'll be fine. I hope my broadband's going to keep up with all this technology I've got around me. If you can see how many laptops I've got going on around me, work,
Oh, do I know?
StreamYard, Mixcloud, it's all going on here. And I'm thinking, I hope my broadband holds up here. It really does. Now, we've been talking about food a little bit and this E. coli breakout as well. And, when COVID was on, everything was about hand gel and gloves and masks. And I feel like we've gone back to normal with leaving peanuts at bars and people just being just quite precarious with non-precarious with the way that they're preparing food and everything. And it always bugs me when I see people wearing gloves handling food, which you should do. But you also handle money. You also touch services. You're also touching the till. And it's like, what's the point of wearing gloves? What is the point of wearing gloves? Are you just protecting your hands from anything you touch? Because you're not protecting my food safety at all. When
I
you
could
want to
never.
scratch your hair and
Mm.
then pick up something with your gloves and put it. No, no.
I could never understand that analogy. Why, you see people, they're giving you your food and they're handling your food. You can actually do, they're touching the food with the gloves, and then you give them money and they're taking the money and counting the money with the same gloves. Doesn't make sense, does it? It defeats the objective.
I know, I know, I know. I've had to pull up people now and again saying, is there any point in wearing gloves if you're just going to handle everything as well as the food?
Yeah,
What
I
se-
should do that as well. Yeah.
what
It doesn't
sense
it
does
doesn't
it
make
make?
sense really. No.
It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't.
So next time, guys, you are out there and somebody's giving you food and they're handling the food with the gloves, and they are giving you money with the same gloves, ask them the question, what's the point of you? You might as well just take the gloves off. Might as
And
well.
just keep washing your hands. That's the best thing to do.
Mm.
Just keep washing your hands. Now, Huntsville Jamming, thank you very much. He says, interesting show. This is our show every Monday and Tuesday. It's news, it's chats, it's reviews and tips. And Sharky DJ here is the maestro at playing music. So tune in every Monday and Tuesday if you want. All the way from Alabama. That's one place I want to visit, I could go and retire in Alabama. Nice
Yeah.
country land. Honestly, I really could. So tell us all about it. Huntsville Jamming, and welcome to the Breakfast Flight Show. Now, you were talking about people going back into work because they're kind of bored at home. There's still a revolt against people trying to get back into the office full time. There's a percentage of office workers that do not want to do it. Like myself, I don't believe. I mean, I can't believe I did this years ago. 9 till 5 every day, 5 days a week. It's abhorrent to me now. If a job was offered to me and they said I got to come into the office every day, absolutely no, hell no, no way. I'm not doing it. And statistics are showing that a lot of people are turning down jobs if they're saying that there's no hybrid working or it's a full-time role. Now, not everyone has that choice. Okay, some people need a job, so they don't have that choice within to refuse jobs. I understand that and get that. But we have so much technology now that will allow us to be flexible, and especially for the case of women or parents that have children and have all of these family needs that just can't work around this whole 9 to 5 thing. And it never, ever resonated with me. Why? The companies want to shove everybody in at one time and shove everybody out again at another time and create chaos within the traffic system. You staggered it, hybrid worked it, then it would work. But was so reliant upon people coming into the city and spending money to keep the capital alive. That's the only way they know how. No other working model. It's like
Yeah.
shops. Shops don't know what to do with themselves anymore, that people don't want to go inside a shop. They have no idea, and so you see these shops not being able to cope with the model that they've had. They can't keep up with the times of the way people's shopping habits have changed, and therefore they still keep the shops open, keep 1 or 2 people in there and expect it to survive. It's not. It's not a great shopping experience to go into shops. But this hybrid working thing, a lot of companies are clamping down. Now, if you're one of these people that decided to get yourself a mouse jiggler, one of those things you put in your
Yeah.
laptop and it just
Jigging it.
moves and keeps your screen alive
Jigging it.
like you're there at work every day. You got a couple of companies that are starting to run stats to find out if you are using a mouse jiggler,
Oh,
what
wow.
websites you're using, and how long you stay on one screen for. They can do that. Wells
Wow.
Fargo in America are doing that, and have sacked a fair few people for using mouse jigglers. But it's really hard to, when you're in the office, you do move around a lot more than you do at home. By the
Yeah.
time you go in, it's 10 o'clock before I start work. You get in for 9, you get your coffee, put your bag down, you get your sandwiches, you get your breakfast, you say hello, see someone by the coffee machine, you're having a chat. More time, it's any time between 9:30 and 10 a.m. before I start any work. And then there's the off chats as you go into the toilet, as you go back to the machine and you talk to someone that you haven't seen for ages. My productivity when I go into the office is much lower than when it is at home.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
companies don't realise that.
I left work about 5 years ago with my
Boo, don't make us
early retirement.
jealous.
But no, on the serious note, I used to, my job was, 9 to so-called 5 or 9 to 12 or 1, whichever it was, 10 to 1 or something like that. But in all honesty, it's getting up and that systematically getting up and going into work every day, night, and Monday to Friday. Um, I couldn't do it again now. I've been out of the system so much that program that I was in to get up in the morning, get myself ready, get on the train, go into work, do the work what I had to do, which was training staff, and then leaving work, coming home, and then you got your evenings, and then them telling me when I can go on holiday and when I can do stuff. I just can't do it anymore. I can't see myself ever working regular. I mean, I thought, I'm getting a bit bored sometimes. Let me get myself something, but I just can't commit to it. So I have to
I
find other ways of making money.
I have zero loyalty to companies. Absolutely zero loyalty. I am not one of these people that would be like, I've got to get in at this time. I will never. I have never taken a sick day in 20 years. Good luck to you, mate.
Good luck.
Because
Yeah.
everybody else has, and they've taken full advantage. And if when at that day, on your the last day of your never taken a sick day, when they decide to make you redundant, they don't take that into consideration that you've never taken a sick day. My dad worked so hard in his life, he really did. And in his 50s, he was made redundant. He worked for Balfour Beatty, this construction company. Travelled all around the UK. Was always leaving home at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning because I was the one that had to get up and make his sandwiches fresh every day. So I know. And when he was made redundant, this was way back in the 80s, my dad only got £2,000 for over 30 odd years of service. He had a
Yeah.
watch on the 35th year of service. They gave him a watch. And on about the 37th year of his service, they made him redundant and he walked away with £2,000.
Well, talking about being married, I mean, I took severance from work. So obviously I got quite a decent pay. I mean, I was working for 38 and a half years for London Underground. And I mean, I was kind of proud that, that I'd worked for a company for so long. And if I'd been there now, it'd have been like 43 years if I'd stayed in that company. However, since leaving the company and, I've left it now, and before, you feel part of it, you go into work, you walk through the barriers, everybody knows you, everybody says hi, and I was one of the favorite trainers, most of the staff loved me. But one thing I've realized when I go back through the underground, and as I left and I'd gone through, you become a nobody, and nobody calls you from work and says, you're done well, how are you doing, or or care. And I must admit, I said to myself, I really do wish I took more sick days. This staying faithful at work and not using up the sick time, and I'll tell you what, if I was to go back into work now, I would be sick. And another thing is, if I was a manager, I am not coming down on anybody unless they disrespect me. Then I'd say put on my hat and say, you know what, I'm disciplining you. But other than that, if I was to go back into work now, I'm doing as much sick as I can. That's my advice. I'm telling you, I'm not loyal to anybody.
So forgive if anyone's children
nobody.
are watching. It's not the best advice we're giving for children going out and starting world. Take as much sick if you want to. I'm sorry, guys.
But you don't mean nothing to these companies when you go. You don't. I mean, luckily for me, I got a pass that, that gets me up and down the UK for next to nothing, that's a benefit. And, you get those benefits, but you don't mean anything. You walk through that, you're nothing. You tap on that barrier before I to tap and open the gate 100 times. You tap it once, you have to go to a member of staff. You become Joe Public.
Yeah. And Spice Nice
People don't
says,
realise that.
Spice Nice says she's got a mouse jiggler. She said, I got one. The idea came from me. I know. It's great, isn't it? It's brilliant. And she says it's very draining going into the office every day. And she says, yeah, same for me. I take advantage now. I don't care. And a lot of people do. There's a lot of people in there that have worked for companies like 30 years on. And you can spot them in the office because they just don't give a damn. They're just there waiting for the end of their pension or their final salary day. I think people should be encouraged to move on jobs all the time. I don't know about staying in one job 30, 40 years doing the same thing. That would absolutely drive me crazy. But in saying that, our young people now, right, have cottoned on to it. They've seen how hard our parents have worked, and they're in the age of technology, when you can make more money being a content creator or an influencer, why do they want to go and work in a 9 to 5 and go onto London transport or any transport in the city and be stuck under someone's armpit, paying a ridiculous amount of money to get into an office where you're treated like an idiot most of the time?
Yeah.
To wait for your salary at the end of the month where the government takes half of it away. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't.
And new models of working has to come out. This office thing is so overrated.
People
it really is.
are being conned and they don't even realize it.
We've been programmed from when at school.
Exactly.
Go to university, get into debt, go get a job, go and buy a house, get into more debt, pay the government all your money back, sell your house when you die, pay more money. It's one big con.
Die and you give the money back to us if you don't have a will.
We're going to take it anyway, we know.
Yeah.
But
Huntsfield says, you become a nobody in the workforce since makes sense. That's why I retired. Yes, absolutely.
Well done. You and SharkyDJ are the retirees. I'm looking to... I'm good old 55 this year. I pinpointed 55 at first, and I can't achieve that yet. Maybe in the next few years. Definitely, I am not working past 60. I can tell it definitively.
No, you're not. Definitely
I am not working past 60 years old. I'm certainly not waiting until 67 before I retire. So I'm working and doing all sorts of things. Don't believe I'm living the life of luxury. I've got money cut here, there that I'm just planning for my pension.
Nothing but first class with SharkyDJ.
HPQ.
Nothing but first class. Of course, it's always first class with SharkyDJ. I do love that. Now, D Brown says you must do a show soon about side hustles. Absolutely, we should do. We'll do some special shows coming up. There's so much to talk about sometimes. It's unbelievable. So before we get on to more serious news, I've got to speak about this. I'm always trying to find news from all over the world that people are doing some crazy activities. Now, in Russia... Okay, 2 women beat a man to death after he refused to have a threesome in a cemetery.
Oh wow. You seen the size of them Russian women? Some of
Listen,
them are just like, you know.
Rosa, 29, and Martha, 37, were drinking with 63-year-old Alexander in a
Oh wow.
churchyard in Stavropol, a city in southwestern Russia. Now, reports state that the female friends are accused of unleashing a series of kicks and punches after he refused to have sex with them. The man's 63, good on you, mate, And a report citing local police said they beat him to death in a forest before hiding the body in a hole.
Oh
These
wow.
women are
Well,
serious.
well, he's in the right place, isn't it? They did it in the right place, isn't it? In a cemetery.
Well, they did it in a cemetery and then dragged him into the forest. Why not just leave him in the cemetery? That would have been better, surely, rather than going into a forest. He's in the right place, right? Dig a hole in the cemetery.
Yep.
They dragged it into the forest, hid it in a hole, and the body was found, and the women were detained, and the murder case was actually opened. Now, footage shows one of the women being escorted to the forest crime scene to find this actual man, and it was just laying in a patch of grass. They said he was buried in a hole, but it was actually lying in a patch of grass. And the victim died at the scene as a result of his injuries. How much did they kick him? They must have kicked the hell out of him. Proper
Yeah.
kicks and flying punches. So the moral of the story is don't scorn a woman. If she's saying, I want sex, try and give it up. You might get kicked to death and left in a cemetery, I'm telling you. Don't mess about with these Russian women. They will drag you somewhere. So, get a
Yeah.
Jamaican woman instead. Why not?
Jamaican. I think they're just as bad.
Talking about women and men, we've got, what is it with these toy boys and older women or younger men? What is it? She's sick. Well, you know what? We never say anything about men who are in their 60s, right? Like Jack Nicholson, who will be, or Leonardo DiCaprio, who date like 19 and 18-year-olds. We never say anything. Imagine that. They're 19. They're just barely above the legal age. And they're dating these models at 19. What is that? What is that?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I as you know, I just came back from Jamaica, and one of my young cousins, right, came out, and she wasn't there, so I went out to meet her boyfriend, and I was looking at him thinking, this must be like the boyfriend's dad or something, because he looked like my age or older. Apparently, it was her boyfriend. He was in his 50s, and she's like early 20s, very early 20s. I was like, okay.
I remember with an ex-boyfriend of mine. He was from Dominica and St. Lucia, and we went there. And in Dominica, his uncle was trying to be re-elected as an MP or Prime Minister or something like that. And so I happened to be on the election trail going with them while they were going out, because we were there at the time. And I was staying at the man's house with his wife, with my then partner. As we went on the election trail, we picked up a woman along the way. I wouldn't even say woman, I'd say a young girl. Picked up a young girl along the way, and I'm thinking, oh, this must be his niece, his daughter from another mother or something. This was his girlfriend. So she's on the campaign trail with him, leaving his wife at home. She was barely 18. Barely 18. You know those young girls that haven't developed yet?
Yeah.
So they have no boobs. They're really skinny. They haven't filled out at all. She looked like if she put on a school uniform, that's where she was.
Yeah.
Because she actually looked younger than 17. I almost thought she was about 15, but maybe she just looked young because she wasn't really developed anywhere. And she was just quiet. And it was just weird. It's just weird to know why do men like young girls, or in school uniforms? We could say the school uniform thing gets me as well. With school uniform parties, it bugs me, because it's just like you're looking at little girls, or you want a woman to be a little girl. Therefore, is that a fetish or what? What's it going to turn into? I don't know. I've got my detective hat on there. Delight says it's an ego thing. But this 63-year-old woman is expecting a baby with a 26-year-old partner.
Oh, wow.
63. Now, she's not having it, of course. She's probably gone through the menopause. There's no ovaries left in that woman at 63. But she's having it by a surrogate. And she's been trolled to high heaven with trolls saying she'll die soon. You never know. We could die at any time, to be quite honest with you. It's nothing to do with age. But he's 37 years her junior. and he looks 37 years her junior as well. It's not like
Have
she
you got a
like.
picture? Have you got a picture that we can see?
Oh, I'll have to. Oh God, I'm looking at this picture. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look very good at all. I'll have to quickly. I hadn't actually uploaded it. I was literally just wanted to speak about the story. So I'll get a picture for you. Play a track. Come back. I'll get this picture up. I'll get it up while you're
As,
playing the track.
as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, it's that time. Actually, you know what? Let's play a track and then we'll head straight into the ad break. And I do try to spend as much time off the mobile phone as possible because I think we rely on it too much. And when it goes, our whole world goes down. I mean, the other day I changed my phone and I am a techno man. But what I didn't do properly, and I should have known, and I didn't back up my WhatsApp. So I lost all the messages, the photos, the history, and I got a little bit upset. And in the end, I thought, you know what? Am I really going to go through all of that stuff all the time? Of course, there's references sometimes that you do need this stuff, but not all the time. So, yes, we don't need the mobile phone that much. We definitely don't need it that much. HPQ is back.
Oh my gosh!
I've got. Let me just hold on 1 second. Yes, can you hear me?
I can. I've just come back and inveigled back into your program, right? I didn't check my diary this morning. I'm there dancing away like I could be on radio, and there's a meeting going on that I need to be at. This 9 to 5 thing. Remember, I was talking about it. It's overrated. It's barging into my radio time. You know, it's not convenient. I feel like telling my boss, do not schedule any meetings. So what I've done now is, and none of my work people know about this anyway. I'm never telling them this, but
no,
my diary's now blocked out now for the duration. So I should not get this ever again. Now, what have I missed? Because I haven't been listening at all.
Well, I was talking about all sorts. One of the things I was talking about is how long would you wait for a date? Yeah, if you're going out on a date and you know you're expecting to meet someone, what is the length of time that you will wait for a date? Then I was talking about mobile phones as well and what it was like back in the day, and could we go back in the day of, you know, how did we communicate with people? How did we find our friends? Because we were very effective at it until the mobile phone came in. We never had mobile phones, but we communicated well, you know. And I was saying in this day and age, you know, there's no excuse that if you are going to be 2 minutes late, you can just make that phone call. Why is it that people will not make that phone call to say, you know what, this is happening, I'm going to be late? And when the person does go after half an hour, they get upset.
Do you know something? It's so funny because I was going to speak about this on the news today, saying that they're trying to turn people away from phones. In particular, they're going to try and make a range of phones for young people that are just basic handsets, so they don't have access to the internet, so they don't sit there scrolling all the time. This social media thing has been designed almost like to get us addicted. It's like gambling. Facebook, TikTok,
absolutely agree
all the shorts. It feels like it's proper gambling that people are actually doing. And we sit there, you know, when we've got nothing to do, what do? We pick up our phone, we start scrolling through TikTok. We're sitting in bed, 12 o'clock when we should be sleeping, and we're sitting there in TikTok, watching all these TikTok programs, things that people make up, say, don't do, all the animal fun stuff. You like watching about lions, I like watching about cats. You know, it's designed to take ourselves away from reality, I think, but I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable now and again with the amount of pings that come through. And it's difficult for me because I do the news every week. So I have to scroll. I have to read. I have to see what's going on. But there are some people that are addicted to social media. You take away their phone and it's like, I can't survive.
Yeah. And that's the thing I was just actually mentioning about my WhatsApp, me wiping all my history of WhatsApp and getting annoyed about it. But I quickly got over it and I thought, you know what, am I really going to be going through all of those thousands of pictures? And yes, of course, there are some that you do want to keep, but
who wants to keep 16 gig of messages that blocks up your phone? I regularly go through my pictures and someone said, don't you back them up? Do you know how much pictures I take just in one night? I could take 65 pictures and 25 videos in one night. And if you go over a series of nights, that adds up. I don't have SD cards and unlimited terabyte storage in my Dropbox. There are some pictures that are great for the occasion. I take them, I post them, thank you. Do I need to keep them forever? No, I'm going to see you again next week and take another picture.
But it's nice when you get older and you can look back, or, you know, if you've got like family, they want to look back, you know. And I think the technology, from here on, you can go, in 100 years, they can look back, at pictures of what it was actually like. But, so yeah,
Facebook does that. Facebook comes to you. This is what you were doing 6 years ago. I'm like, oh my god, I don't remember that. Post on Facebook.
Yeah,
we've
but
got
Facebook's got control over that. That's the only thing is I'd rather have that control myself.
Absolutely, but remember I told you how much we pay for all these social media we've got. I mean, I run StreamYard, I run Mixcloud, I run
do.
Dropbox, I run Canva, I run Power Director. I have all these social media apps that cost me about £150, a month, I'd say, over £100 a month, just to sit here, look at you, show my content, and do the news. Costs money.
It's a lot of money, and you have to even pay to get the news, to get decent news. There
Now,
are
I have
absolutely some apps you have to pay for.
Yeah, the news is not free anymore, especially if you go into the Guardian or the Telegraph, where I sometimes go and get my news, and you have to pay. You have to pay. Nothing is free. But I'm telling you, we need to get our children away from mobile phones. It's destroying their life a little bit, but it's so hard because now our life is run on mobiles. I see, contract signs. We've sent a message to your mobile. We've sent authentication link to your mobile. You're going to access your email. You've got to go into banking online. It's very rare now that you can walk into a bank and speak to a person. They'll tell you to do everything online. So they've made mobile phone a part of our life.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard to get away from.
It's going to be difficult. Question for you, okay, just before you go on to your next bit of news. How long would you wait for a date in this day and age?
Oh, well, anything could happen, and it depends because we've got mobile phones, right? So if you're late, you should really be able to text and say, I'm running
That's
late.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. If
So
someone
without the
texts us-
mobile phone and you didn't get a phone call in this day and age of the mobile phone, what's the longest you will wait? Because Cheryl said she will only wait half an hour. Spice Knight said it happened to her. She said she will wait an hour. Huntsville said that he'd wait an hour. And a lot of people, I'd wait an hour.
Yeah,
What's the longest that you wait?
I think an hour is reasonable because you can't, if you're stuck on the underground where there's no network, there's no way possible that you can contact someone. I think an hour is reasonable. Hour and a half, you're desperate. You want this date. You really want this date. You really like this person. But after an hour, that's it. I'm gone. Yeah, I've got things to do.
Get impatient, start shouting in it, and then you're just waiting for that phone. You're hoping that phone rings.
Innit? And then when they get there an hour late, we best start eating straight away or I'm hungry. Or if I'm waiting for that hour, I'm ordering my drinks and it's all on you. You know, you can mitigate, make it easier. And if you're there waiting for an hour, you got your mobile phone now. Start scrolling. Go on TikTok and wait. Have a drink, relax, chill out. Life is too short to be worrying about what time someone's coming. The only time I do get impatient is when I go to a restaurant and I'm hungry and I want the server to come up. When I get in there, I want them to see that I'm in there. I've seen the menu. It's on the table. Come and say, what would you like? I don't want to wait half hour. I get really antsy about that. Really antsy.
Yeah, I think when you
I
get
start
to a
rocking up
restaurant-
to people and saying, "You're gonna come and serve me."
I think when you get to a restaurant, the first thing, obviously, give you the menu and say, what would you like to drink? That's the first thing, would you like a drink now? That option. When you have to wait to get a drink, or the worst thing is when you're sitting there at the restaurant and you're looking around and you see other people coming in behind you and getting served, and then you're waiting or you've got your drinks and you've seen that all their foods get served. That's happened a couple of times with us, and I know you've got up and said, well, wait, what's going on here?
You know me already. Yo. No, I don't say that. I am very nice and smile. You don't get angry until the food's served. Remember, you said that earlier on. Don't get angry until the food's done. And if you're going to get angry, just don't eat. Just refuse to eat.
There's nothing worse than you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and the food comes and it's cold. That's happened.
Delight says, I'm eating before I meet HPQ as she'll keep you waiting. I am not a late girl, Delight. I don't know where you get that from. SharkyDJ, am I a late girl?
Never. No.
No.
I'll tell you, for a woman, I have to say, right, and I'm not just talking, I'm talking of for women that I've interacted and been with in the past. You are very efficient. I have no complaints with time. If I say we're going out in 10, 15 minutes, you get ready quickly.
Yeah,
I've got no
there's no
complaints
this
there.
2 hour setup to do makeup. Mine's done in 5 minutes
You know what
flat,
I
you
mean?
know?
You come out with your bare face and it's all done on the car or in the coach, wherever you go in, you know, and yeah, you pack quickly. So no complaints,
Yeah,
absolutely none.
yeah.
You
Delight
know,
that lateness was due to the fact that I'd been out. Oh gosh, no, that was the day. I'd been at work all day. You know, trying to get yourself
yeah.
together to somewhere for 3 o'clock in the afternoon is hard work. I'm telling you, it's
Mm.
hard work.
But
But
talk,
yeah, I'm no late girl, babe.
mm.
I ain't a late girl, baby
And
girl.
neither am
Lady
I.
B will
And
tell you that.
people talk about me. They say they hate going out with me because if I say I'm going to be there at 7 o'clock, I'm outside your door at 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
Normally, if I'm
yeah.
driving, I'm very, and if I'm going somewhere, I'm DJing somewhere, I am there early. I'm an early
Sharky's
bird.
the first to be, you know, like you get those people that are the first to the party, like they're eager, like they've not been out in a hot minute. That's
Mm.
Sharky. We get there, no one's there, we're the first in. I hate to be the first in.
Yeah, she
Sharky
hates
likes
it.
to be the first in.
I like to be
I'm
in
just
there
like, I'll turn up
first.
at 12, you know, I'll see you there. I'm not going at 10. Going out at 10 o'clock in the evening, that's way too early.
So we got a few minutes left. We've got 10 minutes left. What you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, did you see the picture of the old woman and the young child, I should say? I flashed it up on the screen at the time.
No,
We were
I
talking about that
didn't.
way back at 9 o'clock.
Yes, we were. Show it to
So,
us.
very
Let's have a
quickly,
look.
63-year-old lady having a baby with her toy boy. He looks really happy.
Well, to be honest with you, that couple are quite famous on TikTok and Instagram, and they've been together a long time. They've been together a long time. They've been together quite a few years actually. They've been going around for about a good 3 or 4 years, maybe. You know, I'm not sure how long they've been together, but they have been together quite a while, and they do a lot of stuff on TikTok. So I thought it was someone else that you might be talking about, but that couple I'm
No.
used to.
But
But
sometimes you think that people do things on TikTok just to garner likes. We don't know if they're a real couple. They could be just doing this, doing a facade and getting all the likes and getting sponsorships and promotions. Once you hit more than, I don't know, 10,000 likes or friends, you start getting sponsored. You start being a
Well,
content creator, as they say, that new
yeah,
job.
you're right there. It could be, but to me, I do feel that there is a love there between the two of them. You know, it's strange to see, and you know, when I
That
first
looks
saw
like
it,
love.
no, but they've been together a long time. I mean, that might be just because you know you can take a photo and the photo comes out like one person's face is like this.
Yeah,
But
let me
if
do
you-
that in a
if
photo with you.
If you follow them and you see a lot of their videos, I stopped looking at their videos now. But they have been together a very long time. And at first I thought, nah, it's just a TikTok thing. But they have been together a very long time. So good luck
I'm
to
just-
them. You know, if he's happy, he's happy, and it just goes to show that beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
What the funny thing is that, I played a video of Lady B who just turned 60 yesterday, and this is the woman that she's 63.
Yeah.
That looks a lot older than 63, you know. Looks a lot
Yeah,
older than
she
too much
does look
cigarettes she's
older.
been smoking. Not enough protein that lady's been getting. Too much cigarettes, definitely. Anyway, let me just bring you something. In fact, a difficult story to talk about, and then I'll bring you something fun to end the show with. Now, a man has been jailed quite recently. This is in Lambeth, in Brixton, after keeping guns, including a sawn-off shotgun, in his children's underwear drawer and in a wardrobe. There was also Class A and Class B in their family home in Lambeth. Now, the gentleman's name is Danny Butler. He's 44, and he was sentenced to 18 years in prison after the firearms were discovered by the Metropolitan Police. Now, he lived in this property with his wife and his 3 children, including an 18-month-old. Now, the police found 6 guns, ammunition, and drugs in multiple locations in the house. This included in the children's underwear drawer and in the parents' wardrobe. 3 handguns, one of which were loaded. It's got children in the house. Handgun that was loaded were amongst the weapons discovered in his children's clothes drawer. Another handgun and pump-action sawn-off shotgun. Not even just a revolver, a pump-action sawn-off shotgun were found in the wardrobe. There was also a large amount of ammunition. A second sawn-off shotgun was found in the coat cupboard. This man had guns all around his house. He must have been some serious drug dealer. Now,
Yeah,
further
armed
searches by the officers found Class B drugs lying on the floor of the living room, which were easily accessible to all the children, including that little toddler. Class A drugs were also being kept inside the TV unit and the coat cupboard. And the officers obviously alerted social services immediately to remove these children from the home.
Yeah.
That's a very, very dangerous environment.
Oh,
now, this
wow.
comes as gun crime in London has increased by nearly 20% since 2023. That's last year. Since last year, it's increased 20%. 2 sawn-off shotguns. How can you have so many guns in your house with little children as well? And who is the wife that's allowing this all to happen? Is she living in some kind of lap of luxury that doesn't give a damn about what her unscrupulous partner's doing to other people? That's absolutely crazy.
Wow.
Yep, Huntsville jamming, put him in jail. He has been jailed. He has definitely been jailed. 18 years he got jailed for. And good on the judges for getting him down for 18 years. You just need to apply that same sense of criminality when you're dealing with paedophiles. Yeah? We need those long sentences, not 2 or 3 years, 18, 20, 25, life sentences, in fact, if you mess about with children. Violence and kids is a big deal to me. Go to jail, go suffer in jail, and I don't really care. Throw away the key for all I'm concerned. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now, I want to end on a very light note. I'm sorry, but I should have done all this earlier on. Now, we were talking about making money, having side hustles and things, and our young people being content creators and wanting to go on YouTube. Here's one. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this video, and I'm hoping Lady B is watching to watch this. This little girl reminds me of maybe a younger Lady B or something, but she is so astute. Yes. She's absolutely brilliant, right? Someone who to watch if you want to make money, I'm telling you.
I'm a hustler. You don't need to ask the hustler where she is getting her money. I'm a big hustler. I work hard for my money. Okay. I work very hard for my money, so you don't have the right to ask me where I get my money. The only person that can ask me now and I'll answer is sister. Because sister is a hustler. She works for her money too. So we need to create ideas together. We need to exchange mindset, business mindsets together. Not to you. Because if I tell you now I'm wasting my time, you just want to monitor my money. Have my money come and go. So don't stop me again.
He looked so intimidated. That guy looked intimidated by
But did you see the way she's sitting there? She's gesticulating like, I'm a hustler. You know? Don't ask me about where I get my money from. I'm telling you, it's like me talking to Sharky. Don't ask me where I get my money from. I'm a hustler.
I'm a hustler.
She must be all of about 8 or 9 years old, and my girl is hustling. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, really is.
Listen, it's coming towards the end of the show. Was you going to say something final?
No,
words,
I was going to repeat exactly the same words. It really is. It's time for me to go anyway. I've got another meeting to go and jump on. I will see you guys again next week. Watch out for the short clips. I've got all the short clips coming out this week as well, and I will see you guys next week. And don't forget, this weekend, Benefit Day, National Windrush Day, Saturday and Sunday, 48 hours of music hosted by myself and SharkyDJ. I'll see you next week.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, HPQ.